Hello and welcome to the Simplified News Network. My name is Chris, and I'm the training director for the Cook organization, and I'm here with my colleague Carol.
Hello everyone, my name is Carol and I'm the lead training supervisor for the Simplified Breakfast initiative for the Cook organization. We're really excited to share some of the changes coming your way.
The purpose of this video is to give your staff an overview of what Simplified Breakfast will look like in your restaurant, how to best prepare for it, and share some best bets. So that being said, Carol, where should the managers begin?
Re-hit on breakfast procedures. Make sure that the products are hitting gold standard quality. I would recommend utilizing the Breakfast Fundamentals Manual to retrain staff. If you print a roster, that's the best way to make sure that you're hitting everyone on the retraining.
I really like those recommendations, Carol. Some of our staff have been with us a long time and haven't been retrained on the basics in a while. What else can the restaurants do to prepare ahead of time?
Ensuring their teams are using and understand e-production. Lack of knowledge causes staff to mistrust it. When you're ready to roll out Simplified Breakfast, you want to add and change some of the settings and the configuration.
Thanks, Carol. That's a great reminder to ensure our teams are using the e-production monitors and they're set up properly ahead of time. Anything else the staff can do?
Get in the practice of having burritos rolled the day before, utilizing their 24-hour hold time. We will be batch cooking burritos, so having them ready to go is vital.
Thanks for all the best bets. Can you share what the new equipment they may see in the restaurants?
Sure thing, Chris. Let me show you some of the new pieces of equipment you'll be getting. First off, you'll be getting a staging cabinet to hold your batch cooked product. Ensure to read pages 4 through 6 before setting up your cabinet. Page 14 is going to go into more detail about the processes. You also receive new smallwares. Pages 8 through 11 will go into more detail on all of those smallwares.
So Carol, what I'm hearing from you is that our team should get familiar with the training manual, as there's a lot of great new information.
Absolutely, Chris. You want to set your teams up for success, so you want to ensure that you're an expert at it. But I will tell you, once you look through it a time or two, it's easy from there.
Thanks, Carol. I was worried when I saw how much information was in the manual that our teams would be overwhelmed. But it sounds like, as long as we set our teams up for success, they'll be just fine. Now, can you tell me a little bit about the breakfast routines and what's changed?
The biggest change is that we are batch cooking breakfast products only 3 times a day. This is a non-24-hour store, so batch cook times are 4:30, 6:30, and 8:30. Depending on your restaurant setup, these times may vary.
That does sound different indeed. But how can one person do all that cooking? And can it possibly stay hot enough with good quality?
I'm glad you asked that. I definitely had my reservations about being able to hold the product for 2 hours, but this holding cabinet has been amazing. As long as you do the routine maintenance on it and have the grills dialed in correctly, quality is not compromised. As far as staffing and positioning, that has greatly changed, but overall for the positive. Your goal is to be able to batch cook for 2 hours worth of product and complete the cooking within about 30 minutes. This time greatly changes based on the quantity of products you need, the spread, and the knowledge of the person on the grill, as well as the amount of people you can have scheduled that day.
Wow, that's some impressive and unique changes. Maybe since you're in the restaurant today, you could just show us what a typical morning would look like for you.
Chris, that really is the easiest way to do it. So since it's approaching 4:30 a.m., we're going to go over to our e-production monitor. We're going to look at what we need to get us through the 7 a.m. hour and cook as fast as possible until we hit those totals. Every store will do this in a little bit differently, depending on staffing and positioning, but we have our prep person help with the first 2 cooks here. With everything having a scheduled time, this makes the kitchen run seamlessly. We're going to start with sausage as it has the longest hold time, then rounds because it's normally the higher in demand, and then folded and scrambled. So the monitor says for us to make 4 sausage inserts, 10 rounds inserts, 3 folded inserts, and 10 scrambled egg inserts. We recommend putting the total amount of inserts stacked up next to your grill to fulfill the 2-hour production level needed. When you run out of the trays, you know you've completed the total needed. After you finish each tray or insert, you will put them in the staging cabinet and put them in the desired rack and push the timer. Once you've hit the timer once per row, you do not hit it again. The other trays in that row will have the same time per food safety guidelines. Now, depending on if you've added additional staff or not, you can open second side, get cleaning done, dishes, breaks, or even help out your front line.
Carol, that was awesome. I love it. Now the other grill person can help out in so many other ways, and it appears that it's so much quieter and more peaceful in the kitchen as well. So now what's on the agenda?
Well, Chris, I think it's time for a commercial break, and then we'll come back at 6:30 a.m. to do it all again for our 7 a.m. batch cooking.
Great. We'll see you back shortly.
All right, guys, let's go get some food.
You guys go ahead. I already placed a curbside order.
Sounds good. All right. Okay, well, I'm gonna order on the kiosk.
I'm also going to order the register.
I ordered in the app, so it should be ready anytime now. Have a good day. I like the app. I used to get a free sandwich.
I use the kiosk for a 20% discount.
You guys got free food?
Yeah, I'll show you how to download the app.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Wait, how did you get your food so fast? I placed a curbside order and got my food right away. I love doing that.
Welcome back to SNN, your Simplified News Network. I'm here with Carol, who's at McDonald's, reporting back to us about the new Simplified Breakfast changes at McDonald's. Carol, are you with me?
Hey, Chris. Yes, I'm here. The team is getting ready for their second round of batch cooking.
Great to hear, Carol. Feel free to share the next round of training details when the team is ready on site.
Thanks, Chris. We're going to start off just as we did before, and we're going to analyze our production monitor to see what we're going to need for the next 2 hours, starting with sausage, round, folded, and finishing off with scrambled. We're going to be pulling our prep person again to support the primary grill person to ensure that they can get the batch cooking done in as close to 30 minutes as possible. We'll add up the inserts and stack them to ensure that we cook everything we need. So once this product is complete, they will take them to the staging cabinet and set the timer just as before. Once all the product is completed batch cooking, the additional grill person can work on secondary duties as mentioned previously, or the prep person can return to doing what they were working on.
This time hearing it from you, Carol, I already felt more comfortable about the processes.
I agree, Chris. It really is repetition. I would recommend the supervisors stay very close to their store for at least the first 2 weeks until they get all the routines down. So, Chris, not much is going to happen as far as Simplified Breakfast goes until the final batch cook, which will be about 8:30.
That sounds great, Carol. Well, it's time for another commercial break. So I'll see you at 8:30. Thank you.
I love my new career at McDonald's.
All right, great job, everybody. Drive-through times are fantastic. I've been working with McDonald's for 8 years. I can't imagine being anywhere else.
All right, have your total is $31.84 at the first window, please. I love McDonald's. They're helping me pay for my education.
Here at McDonald's, we know that our people are our future.
Welcome back to SNN, the Simplified News Network. I'm here with Carol, who's reporting back to us about the new Simplified Breakfast changes at McDonald's. Carol, are you with me?
Hey, Chris. Yes, I'm here. The team is getting ready for their final round of batch cooking.
Great to hear, Carol. Feel free to share your next round of training details when the team is already on site.
Thanks, Chris. We're going to start off just as we did the previous 2 times, and we're going to analyze our production monitor and see what we're going to need for the next 2 hours, starting with sausage, rounds, folded, and finishing off with scrambled eggs. We're going to pull our prep person again to support the primary grill person to help ensure that we can get the batch cooking done in as close to 30 minutes as possible. We'll add up all the inserts and stack them to the side to ensure that we cook everything we need. Many times this batch cooking can be one of our largest, which can push our time longer than 30 minutes. If that is the case, we may need to add another grill person to help complete it faster or know what it's going to take longer than 30 minutes. I would recommend getting familiar with what your teams can do and setting targets for them that is reasonable for them to achieve. We don't want to push the 30-minute goal if it's out of the scope of what's possible. So we either need to know when it will take longer or add an additional person to help them. Once the product is completed, they will take it to the staging cabinet and set the timer just as before.
Those are great points, Carol. Thank you for sharing that helpful information. So after the final batch cook, now what do the teams do?
This is one of my favorite parts, Chris. Everyone knows what they should be cooking, how much, and what time they should be cooking it. Transition is now easier than ever. Utilizing the changeover setting on the cabinet allows us to slow down the The breakfast trays held in the cabinet and hold the lunch products being cooked. It's quiet, there's no yelling, and overall it's a less crazy environment.
I must tell you, Carol, Simplified Breakfast sounds like it has so many great benefits once you get your routines down.
Chris, it really does. Utilizing the Simplified Breakfast training materials to prep our restaurants is key, and I can't wait to have all the restaurants rolled out.
Carol, I want to thank you for reporting to us and sharing your experiences with our future restaurants to come. One thing that stuck with me that I wanted to share with all of you, you only get one time to do it right. Take your time, study your materials, communicate and prepare your teams and pump them up. Change is not always easy for everyone, but once they get on Simplified Breakfast, they will love it. Remember, one of us will never be as good as all of us. Thank you for spending your time with Carol and I today. I hope you all have a great Simplified Breakfast launch and always remember how important your people are. This is Chris with SNN signing out.